Hello. Waiting for the people to join in. Hi Suma. Good evening. We'll wait for a couple of minutes as regular for people to join in, giving them time to join in. Because I joined in a little late at sharp 8, so usually I join in a little early. So just give a couple of minutes for people to join in, and then we will start. Hope you all had a nice week. Okay, I think we're good to start. I think let people join in. This so I think we're good to start off. Okay, there's something out here which tells that I'm a certified Zentangle teacher from Zentangle, and I'm authorized to take Zentangle classes, officially authorized to take Zentangle classes. And this what the video, whatever sessions I'm taking, or the video which I am getting it recorded out here and share it is only for your personal view and no further use of commercial use or for any purpose of teaching. So this is just for you to do your own creation from whatever this inspiration which you take it from my end. Hola, Kakiko. So that's what it says here. So just a small disclaimer for this. So what we do is in Zentangle, we normally use a Zentangle tile, which is a 3.5 inch tile. Now if you do not have the Zentangle tiles from the Zentangle, you can use a normal art stock and you can cut it to that size, or you can use an art sketchbook or journal, or you could go to use stock art paper, which you can just draw it the size of a 3.5 inch, and we can do that. So that's the what. And the tools what I use is a Sakura micron pen, which is 01, and I use a Zentangle graphite pencil and a stub. Now the Zentangle graphite pencil, if you do not have, you can use a normal graphite pencil, and if you do not have the stub or the tortillon, which is tortillon is this, and if you do not have these tortillons, you can use a normal earbud, or you can make a stiffened paper and use that, which is really stiff, or a tissue paper. These two are primarily, we give a shading, and this gives a smoothing effect. That's what is this. And Sakura is what we use. And if you do not have these pens, you can use any other pen which doesn't bleed. The reason what we recommend, strongly recommend, is that we've seen works which has been right early in the 2003, which has been created, and they've been really they are really good quality archival, and they're really bright and they don't fade. That's the reason we have strongly. And personally, I have been using this pen from the time I started this artwork. It's going to be now 5 years. So this artworks, whatever I have created, they're really bright. I have used some other artworks I have done the same Zentangle artwork with using different kind of a pen, which are not these pens. And if you could see, they're really kind of a dull, and these are done sometime in 2019. So personal experience also says that. And when you do good quality stuff, and your respect for your art increases. So that's with the tools. So we just simple tools. But today what I'm going to do is something which we're going to do. So I would use color. So I'm using a charcoals which are color in color. So you can use a color pencil, or I'm just using a charcoals which are of color, and these are from Generals. The same like what Zentangle is. These are also pencils. These are from the Generals group. So these pencils are charcoal pencils. I'm going to use a color charcoal pencil because we're going to do a little floral work, and it would, instead of using a color pen, I'm just going to use, instead of a graphite pencil, I'm going to use a color pencil, charcoal pencils today. So let's do our routine of conscious deep breathing and enjoying the deep breathing, relaxing ourselves, and gratitude and prayer, and then we'll start the session. So relax yourself, relax your shoulders, relax your neck. In fact, I also need to do, because I've been sitting in this position for some time now. So relax your shoulder, your hands, stretch, make yourself comfortable, and let's take a conscious deep breathing. The reason is that normally we do deep breathing, but sometimes we hold on when we are drawing. So, and Zentangle is linked to each of your breath. So each stroke is what is related to your breath. And so let's do a conscious 6 deep breaths, so that we give our gratitude to something which is very important in our life. And while doing the deep breathing, we're relaxing ourselves and getting into just keeping all the thoughts away. So we do a normal 3 deep breathing. You can follow my instruction. The last 3 deep breathing, you inhale good thoughts, memories, and exhale whatever you don't want, and we just let it go, right? And finally we get close and we give our gratitude, right? So let's go. Take a nice deep breath and release it. Take another nice deep breath. Slowly exhale it out. Take another nice deep breath and exhale it out. While you're taking another deep breath, enjoy and bringing a smile on your face, memories and good thoughts. Inhale it with all those things in your mind. So take a nice deep breath, bringing a smile on your face, and let it go. Anything which is bothering you, just let it go. Take another nice deep breath. Smile on your face and let it go. Let's take the last beautiful deep breath with the memories. Take a nice deep breath and let go all the thoughts. And whomever you want to give a gratitude at this particular hour, give a gratitude from your heart and mind, and slowly open your eyes. Yes, we're going to do hydrangea, Vijay. So which is today also, like I said last session, that I will try doing, and the prompts which the Japanese team are Japanese CS Certified Zentangle Teacher is doing an event for this month. So which is called it Tangle TU Tangle. So we will be doing that. Today is one of the prompts, which is a flower, which is an hydrangea. And the reason I chose this certified Zentangle teacher, she was in Mumbai when she started learning Zentangle, and then she got herself certified. So I thought that will be a nice prompt to use it in this session. So I'm using her session today, pattern today. So before we restart and practice, so just to remind people that this is just says that I'm a certified Zentangle teacher. I'm authorized to take classes by the Zentangle, and my sessions are only for your personal use, no further use in commercial or for any teaching or anything. So that's what this is. The tools what we're using is a Zentangle tile, and if you do not have a Zentangle tile, you can use any normal art paper or on a sketchbook or anything. And the tools what I'm using is a Sakura pen and a graphite pencil and a stub, right? So let's do the before I go, let's start the practice. So today we will be doing two patterns, and this pattern is called the Sai, and this is by the I told you this is by the Japanese Certified Zentangle Teacher Miki Yamamoto, and she's a certified Zentangle teacher. She learned the Zentangle from Bombay when she was in Bombay, and then she moved. Now she's in Japan. So, and if you see her name Yama, and if you actually interplace, then it comes to Maya. So just defer that. Okay, so this is a pattern called Sai. So this is, they had done it in the memory of the flowers, which is your hydrangea flowers, which is blooms for them in Japan in the month of June. So this is something which I'm going to show this pattern in three different way. One is in a free flow, one as a square grid format, a circle format. So now whichever you are feeling comfortable, you can go ahead and do it. So I'm first going to start with the free flow. So it's a small circle, and then you have another circle, which is this, right? And then there's a line which goes on top, there's a line which goes on down, and this. So this kind of reminds you of your gunshot aiming kind of stuff. And then what we do is we join these. You could join it straight, you can make it little curvy, however you want to, you can do it, right? And then my usual, we can just draw these. And the one what I've thought about is that just give a small inking in the edges, right? If you want, we can give it out here also. So that gives you a little depth. So this is a free flow. The other one is when you're drawing it, you will draw a grid, which is obviously your pencil. In the pencil you will draw a grid, right? And you will draw again a circle in center of the square, and you will draw again another. Now again you will draw a line and you go outside it, right? You can do these. There are variation in this. You can do a lot of variation in this by just drawing a aura out here, aura out here. So there are different. Then the next one, what I'm going to do is a circle, right? So again in the circle, it's very easy that we do a circle. But here what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to draw a straight line. I'm going to draw a little curvy line. I'm not drawing a little, and then I draw right, and then you just got the grids. We're going to use this, so we can use any of these. So I'm doing the tile, I will do any of these things. We'll try all the variations if you want it. Right, so next pattern what I'm going to do is, it's called as the Ecantu. It's by Hanny Wahlberger, Certified Zentangle Teacher. So she got this inspired from the Zentangle. There is a pattern called Acanthus. So she got it from the pattern. Acanthus kind of inspired her to create this pattern, which is like individual one. So this is very simple. I like the way it is done. I sometimes get, so it's like a curved, and then you do, and then bring this out and bring it here, and then you draw another line which goes. So ensure that this is where it is, so you get too much of different distances. So what you could do is, when you're doing this, bring this curve very close. This is very close, so when you draw this line, you get that. So you don't get so much of distance, you can get to this. Let's play it again. A curve, and you bring it. When you curve and bring your line, bring it very close, and then small stems kind of are going in there. So you can, right? So when I'm going to do this, see, now I'm going to do another one out here. So I assume there's a stem out here, and I'm doing this. Right? So you can do that. Right? So is this both the pattern good enough? That? Right? So we're going to use the side, which is the resembling to the flower hydrangea. So we're going to use that pattern, and I've shown it in a free flow with a square grid and a circle grid. So we've done it in these three, and then we're going to use a pattern called Ecantu, and yeah. Right? So we're good to go. So this is what I've done is, I'm going to show you as usual my swatch card, which is my pattern. What I've done is I've used different color pens, and I've done that. Right out here I've done it with different color pens, and I use a square grid. So the reason why am I saying it's a square grid, so before we start our tile, right, so I'll just show you the inspiration so that you could use that. Right, so what I've done is, if you see it here, I have done these in circles and these in square grids. So if you see it, and I haven't done the free flow one because I was little this one, so I did these things. So if you see this, I felt this circle one was looking more nice, so that's why it is. So then I've used the acanthus on the border. So we'll do this. We'll recreate this. Right. So now what we're going to do is what I did was I have drawn circles as my circles as my string. So I've started drawing. So draw a small circle. They may not be uniform size, that's fine. Just draw them, because these circles is just a reference point for us. Then I'm drawing another circle just right on the top. Right, so if you see, the circle forms here. Then I've drawing another circle which is on this side, that forms, and then I form the other fourth cycle out here. Right, so I've left these space is where we will cover up with our flowers. So if you want, you could do the normal, this is a simple one. You can just draw a leaf and one side strokes, and you can just do that also. Like you can have one more leaf. You can just do those also. So let's see how the flow goes. Like we say in Zentangle, you start and the flow goes. So start with, I'm just going to do right at the center small circles. I'm going to draw another small circle. I'm just going to do a layering. This session would take time, so I may not be able to finish full. So what we'll do is we will do one or two of the circles and we will do the shadings. So I'm just going on layering circles at random. So it's bringing it a little closer to show. So I'm just bringing it a little closer to show that I have done kind of a flower blooming kind of a stuff. So that I've run random, I've done full circles at the center is one, and after that there's hardly one or two full circles, but most of them are semicircles out here. Right, so we'll finish this and then we'll go to the next thing. So what we're going to do is, I'm using a very fine pen. So if you see it, I've gone beyond the thing. So when you're doing this, you may use some circles, you may want to ignore some circles, that's also fine. So this is this much, so right. So these all we will be doing at the end, but I'm just showing you that we will be. Right. So now And I've told you, when you're doing flowers as a pattern, you know, no two flowers look the same. And that gives you an adder when you're creating the Zentangle pattern. Now, another one is, if you find it too closer, you can do a little bigger circles. So you don't need to do these small ones, which is what I will do it another one and demonstrate it. And the circles are references for you. Now if you want to ignore it and create your own, you can just go ahead and do it. I'm just doing a little wavy line so that I'm not doing it, it's done on purpose. And when you're doing the circles, in the smaller circles, you will imagine what your full circle is and then accordingly do your placement. So these small ones, you can also ink it up completely. You see that the way, so that's why I said you can do it free, but sometimes if you have a reference, it makes it more easier for you to do it. So let's finish on this angle point. Right? So we're just going to finish 2 more here. Right? And then here. So we have one more place here. Right? So we're done. We'll go to the side. So it's going to be something like this. Want to see it a little closer? Right, so now let's do the side. So, and these are strokes which are deliberate strokes, so which makes you little relaxed and focused. That's what is Zentangle. And if you see, my strokes are going to be wavy ones. So if it's going to be wavy one, so you don't need to have a straight strokes. So you don't need to say, oh no, I can't bring in a straight stroke. And these are flowers. So no two flowers look the same. So can you see that? And if you see the center line strokes which I'm doing it, they're not aligned in the same direction. So can you see that? The reason I did that brings in. So now what you can do is you can do a small one and then bring in a lot of bigger flowers. So you can do a lot of those kind of alignment and you can play around more. Right, so we just have another, we'll do this layer. Get to see it? Right, so we'll just do another flower out here. Right. So we'll go to the next circle. Now what we'll try doing it is that we will try doing a bigger circle. We won't do So now this flower is going to be on top and this flower is going to be on the bottom. So that's why you have that. So I'm drawing circles at random. They are not full circles. A little edged kind of a circle. Just let's do another one out here. That's it. Let's not, right? So we'll just leave it with this. Right? So what we did for people if you have joined in late, so we're using a pattern called Sai, which is an hydrangea flower, which is a resemblance by what has been constructed by the Certified Teacher. We used the string of circles. So I've drawn a full circle out here. Then I've drawn another full circle, but not towards the edge, it goes below. Another one on this side, which is again a little incomplete, and another incomplete here. Right? So we start from the center. And given that these are flowers, the petals will not look the same. So and these smaller inner circles what you're drawing, they're just reference, so you can just ignore or create another circle. That's also is fine. So and these lines I don't draw in the same direction. The one which is inside, I don't draw it on the same direction. They are at random. And people have joined in late, just a small inspiration. This is something with what we will be creating end of the session. So if you want to give a little curved one, you can do it. Something like this, you can just do a rounded one. You can try doing this rounded one also. And when you're going in the inner circles and whatever, you will always see where your placement is, sort of a semicircle or a full circle or a 3/4, and depending on that you put your center line. And I've used the prompt which is been by the Japanese Certified Zentangle Teacher, which they're celebrating the monsoon. So the TU Tangle, I'm using one of their prompts by one of their Certified Zentangle Teacher, who actually started, she's a Japanese, she started learning the Zentangle art and from one of our Certified Zentangle Teacher from Bombay. So this is my ear, I think. And if you keep seeing that, I keep rotating the dial and to make myself comfortable, and your hand movement doesn't get stressed. And if you've drawn these inner small circles and small, then it is fine. But if you've drawn it really dark, then you could want to erase your pencil mark. You can use an eraser. Otherwise, in Zentangle, we don't use eraser. I would do these two, then I'll do the Acanthus border, and then we'll try doing it, because I'm not sure whether we'll be able to finish it in Acanthus border. I will try doing it, because ideally I wanted to do only 2 circles, but then that became 4 circles, so I'm not sure we'll be able to complete it. Relax, no problem. If your strokes are going little here and there, that's fine, because as I always repeat, when you're doing flowers, that's the best part, because no two flowers look the same. So just enjoy the process. So if you see here, I'm going to ignore this line. I mean that circle of it. So what you draw, the inner circle, is also just a reference for you. If you want to use it, you can use it properly, or no, complete one, or it can just be just a reference for you to play around. So we've done. So now if you have space like these, we will just ink these spaces. So if you find any space which is like empty and you can't fill anything, you can just ink it up. Right? So what I'm going to do is, in this particular gap, I'm just going to draw the icantu. So it's coming like this. Right? So I'm just going to fill it up. Right? So let's go in one direction. So let's do it in this direction itself. Now you find these gaps, right, again between these icantu, that also you can fill it up. And when you're doing these filling, you can draw small tipples out there, small orbs out here, small orbs, you can just do it. Right? I'm going to do another one. That's the line. Right. Here again I'm going to do went off the camera. So now again I have these gaps. Right? So these gaps are all going to be inked. You don't want to use those, like I said, for the shading today I may not use the graphite pencil. I will use the color charcoal. So if you want, you can use a color pencil, or you can just leave it black and just shade it. Black and white looks good. Just that hydrangea flowers looks colorful, that I am. And when you're inking it up, use a little broader. I'm little continuing with the same pen. But I'll invariably end up taking another bit. So now if you see it, we've completed these. So we will have another one out here. Right. So I'm not sure whether I'll get another one, but so I can just go fill it up in these small gaps. I tried doing an incomplete one, small. I just didn't want to ink it up, so I just did a small incomplete. So if you see, it's only the first circle is there. and these all will be ink, so I'm going to just leave it. So what I'm going to do is just, so it's the time now. Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll just take a orange charcoal and I'm just going to go spread it up here. Just going to go spread it up just at the bud space. Or like my swatch card, instead of using a color charcoal or a color pencil, you can use a color pen also. Now if you see that if your pencil marks have been really dark, so you can just use your eraser and just remove it before you put your graphites. And when you're using these, just remember to use a paper down, because the charcoals will spread. I didn't have my paper ready, so I'm just using my gratitude card. Just my right. Now what I do is I use my stub and I just smoothen it up. Just smoothen it up. Just in circular motion, just going and smoothing it up. Right, so wherever your flowers are a little bigger, just spread it a little more, and with whatever you have it on your stub, that's enough. Right, and then we take a normal graphite pencil and just on the border you can just put your graphite and use a side which is the graphite side I'm not doing it because I'm going to draw there, so I'm not done it, and I'm going to ink it up here, so I have not done it here, right? And if you want, you can just go inside, and whatever you have it, you can keep, right? And the same thing, what we're going to do is, we have the ikantu. So what we're going to do is, just on the edge and this line, we're just going to put the we're using a charcoal, colored charcoal, right? Now what I do is, I don't keep changing my, now my work with orange is done unless I need it. I use the same, and I use a sandpaper, and I remove my color of, because otherwise I can't remember which pens I will be having so many. So I use the stick of doing it. So wherever you have, just pull it on the edge, right? So let's go ahead and finish now that I'm going to cover, because I'm not going to use, because it will start spreading, so I'm just going to use that. I'm going to do here. So before I draw here, just let me I'm doing random circles, so we call these as fragments, kind of a reticular fragments technique. So you want to learn what this thing is, you can have, there's a special class on that, so you can attend that, right? So now if you see, this flower is on top, this flower is going to be on the right, and this is going to be here down. And I'm going to start drawing using this side, and I will not try going to that side, because that's why we shade right at the end. You see this, there's a difference the way I'm doing it here. So here if you see it, the way the petals is going to be a little different. So that's your strokes of your so I have the beginners class coming up next week. So if you're interested, message me. Learning Zentangle in depth and then creating your work, it makes it more interesting and you can enjoy it more. And learning from a certified Zentangle teacher, it's the more the value of it. So if you see here, there is a petal here, so I'm just going behind it. In this place. tried, but I can't. I have to rotate it. The reason I'm like trying to cover, because might be not unnoticed, that because it will spread, and I do it in the end, but I've since to demonstrate we will not be able to complete it, so I just did a quick demonstration what we'll be doing it in each of these patterns. So I've just inked it up, right? So basically the space will be inked. So wherever you get the space, you're just going to ink it up. So I'll just do the last one. Just going to do the last one out here. Let's do the one what I demonstrated on a free flow. So let's try. I'm just going to try because I've now done free flow. I've always done a grid of a square or a circle. The reason I felt it was more comfortable because it gave me a design for me to go and a direction. So those circles and the squares what I did, they kind of gave me a reference and kind of a good so I'm not drawing any of these. And if you see these lines with the inner line, they are not going to be aligned on the same direction. Right, just going to fill it up this place. Because I knew the space was a little bigger, so I'm taking a little hopefully there was not a question which I messed it up. Yeah, it will take another 10 minutes for the session to get over. So we're exceeding it. If people have joined in late, you could go check my IGTV for the step out, because obviously you messed it up, so you can go watch it up. We're using 2 patterns today, and I have thought how to draw it with a reference of a circle and a reference of a square and a free flowing. Now what I'm doing is a free flow. Earlier what we did was we did a design of flow of the pattern, and which gave us small circles, growing circles. So if you see that, if you see these way, kind of a compact and kind of this is kind of going, so your circle kind of does a little kind of quick reference to you to make it small and bunched up kind, that effect it comes in. But when you go on a free, because you don't have a limitation, so your references are not there, so you might exceed it. That's fine, but it's just that it will give you a different outlook. So we have this side. I'm going to do another one. Okay, so we've done. So what our end result is going to be something like this. That's it. I'm not going to do anything more, right? So before I do the inner coloring, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just give a layering of my graphite. So each of the circles what we drew as our reference, so I'm just going and drawing my graphite around it. Right? Excuse me. So I just slant my pencil to give me a little more comfort and spread. So now I'm going to, before I go ahead and use my charcoal, I'm just going and spreading the outer area. I used the charcoal side, but that's fine. I told you how you can remove it. And right, so since I used it on my charcoal side, so I'm just going and removing it using a sandpaper. That's how you sharpen your I haven't drawn the acanthus, so just going to use a red. So I'm going to use a red on the side. This is going near the inches, near the bud side, and I'm just going to put in graphites. Yeah, my charcoal, not my graphite, sorry, charcoal. Just remember which is going to be yours. So this is going to be a different, so this layering is going to be your, so if you feel confused, you can just do the outer one and then come and do the inner one, so that you know that. So you don't have a different color right at the center or something. Right, so I'm going to use my stub and I'm just going to spread it up. Slowly I'm spreading it up. See that? And we got a bunch of flowers here. Now if you do not want to do the acanthus, you can just color it up with a going to use another yellow now. So since this is orange, so I'm not going to use yellow up there, I'm going to use yellow up this side. There I find some lines have not been drawn, so I just can go back and draw it with my pen, so that's not a problem. Right, and so we can just, so now again I've used orange on the side, pink on the side, so red, so I'm going to use the other side. Very little of charcoal, you don't need to do lots, or your color pencil, or if you want to use your own pen, that's fine. Just going to use a pink out here. You want to repeat the color, you can repeat the color. I just did. I used a round Zentangle tile which is called a Zentangle to create for the previous, before practice. I mean, before I do my sessions, I always end up doing a tile. See, I go back and do it. And we're using a pencil and on a charcoal or whatever, so they end up choking your pen, so you have to rub it up, otherwise your right. So you want to spread it up, go ahead and spread it. If you find it too much of pink, white is out there, spread it. Or you can add a little more charcoal and then give a spread. Right. So now what we'll do is we will draw all on these places the acanthus out here, acanthu, sorry. They may not be a complete one, they can be an incomplete one. So now this is tiny space, so I can ink it up, because I'm going to have spaces which is going to be a little more. There I would need use a little broader pen. Two more we'll do. Right, I'm just going to do one more here, and then I'm going to just ink it up. I'm just going to take a little broader pen and ink it up. the gaps, I'm just going to ink it up. If I've done with the finer pen, it would have taken longer time to ink it up. So can you see that when you inked it up, and then when you have this, you can see the inking. Show you a minute. Just realize that this place is to be inked. So if you see this, so if you see, we have inked it up and we have not inked it up this place. So this place looks dull. Now this will get lifted up just because of our inking. Went back to check a little closer. Now when I'm showing it to you, the one now after inking, you will know the difference of the inking more you do on a darker, which lifts your artwork. So can you see that? How it got lifted up? We haven't done here, so I'm just going to ink the space. Yeah, so we've done. And these Ikantu, which we have not shaded, so I'm just going to use my green charcoal and I'm just going to do on the tip. Since it's going to be leaf and leaf has different shades, so I'm just going to not clean my stub. I'm going to use it. Right, so we're done. We done our tile. We used the swatch of this, and so you could see the difference. Let's keep the same direction. So if you want to bring in a little more layering, is what I told you, is that if you want, you can just go around this particular one of these flowers and keep doing it and lifting it up. So you can do that. So let me just lift only the one of the center ones which we started with. you'll see the difference it's coming up, guys. So hope you liked it. And the most important, which we haven't done, is owning it up and putting your signature. I don't think I have done that in this style also. So hope you like the session. And if you see the same kind of a string kind of used and to get in different results. Right, just slow down and enjoy the process. Thanks, Gauri Sai. Do leave your comment on my IGTV once it's saved, how you liked it. Do share it with your friends and spread it. And do keep a watch on my stories. That's where I post my classes. It's taking time to focus on my autofocus. Yeah. Right. So you share with your friends and family so that they could also enjoy it. And this being my second year of my being certified Zentangle teacher, so I thought I'll introduce the color on the die so that instead of just doing black and white. Thank you. Ciao. Buena vista for the people in the Spain, and good night for the people from India, and good day for the people from the USA, and good afternoon for the people from the UK. See you next Tuesday.